Again, welcome everyone. My name again is Joy Rice from the Center for Global Education. We are all here today to share and learn more about this great program, South Africa. So I'll kick it off with just a little bit about the program and that aspect, and then we will switch off to. Yes, we'll switch off to the program director, and then we have returnees here who are alums from the last year program who will share different pieces about the program, and then we'll end with kind of next steps from there. So again, our program is located about 45 minutes from Cape Town, and it is a quick Uber ride or 20 minutes Uber ride from the closest beach. Stellenbosch is the second biggest city in South Africa. It is known, and they can share more about what it is all known for, but it's known for its mountains region. It's known for its part of a huge wine route as well. It is a great cultural center for arts and museums. And so I'm excited for you to learn more about this program and how it may fit into your four-year plan here at St. Ben St. John's. So next I will introduce our next director, Rachel Marston, who will share just a little bit more about herself and why you should be a part of this great program.
Hi, thanks so much for coming. I'm really excited to get to know you, and please also feel free to reach out to me with any questions you have about the program. So apparently I can find no decent pictures of my family all together, so I gave Troy 3 separate, but just so you can have a sense. So that is me, my husband David, who is a visual artist and a middle school art teacher, and then our son Elliot, who's currently 10 and will be 11 at the time we would be in South Africa together. So he would be coming with me. David would be my assistant director. I'm really excited about this program. I've known some of the faculty, I know some of the faculty who've had the chance to lead it, and one of my colleagues in English will actually be directing the program next semester. And he's every day now he comes in, he's like, Rachel, did you see this other really cool thing? And learn about this that the students can do. And I just think both for the educational opportunities, but for the cultural experiences and the environment, right? And the geography, which I know our alums of the program will be able to talk about in greater detail. So I'm really excited, and I'm really excited to get to explore with you. Because I'm an English prof, some of what we'll be doing in the class I'll be teaching is looking at literature and creative writing and doing some of your own creative writing as a way to process and think through your experiences there, but using literature as a gateway to understanding more about the country, both fiction as well as memoir too. So I think that'll be a great way for us to be able to think about what are some of the cultural practices and norms, right? How do we understand about some of the history of the country and its long-lasting impacts through literature, such as Trevor Noah's memoir, Born a Crime, or a recent short story collection by a female South African author called Innards that looks at, it's a collected, connected short story collection that looks at life in Soweto Township, both under and after apartheid, and ask some really interesting questions that would be interesting for us to dive into together too. So I think then this is just the next slide is about the course itself, and I'm really interested in my own teaching and work about how we use stories to shape our understanding of our own lives, but also the ways in which countries do this too. So this happens, we're going to think a lot about how do stories and the way we tell them shape what we understand. And then how do we think about the kinds of stories we tell as travelers, and what are some of the ethics attached to that too? So I think some really interesting questions I hope for you.
Okay, so now it's on to Stellenbosch, and feel free to advance as you need.
Guys, so this is like Stellenbosch. Sorry, you're good. I'm Sydney. I'm a senior. I'm a peace studies major. I also have minors in communication and Hispanic studies.
I'm Courtney. I'm a junior. Sociology major, gender studies minor.
Okay. I'm Sarah. I'm a senior.
bio major and data analytics minor.
Do you want us to talk about this or do you
Yeah,
want?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Stu can talk a little bit more about Stellenbosch proper before going to the university.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, these are only a couple of like the pictures, but basically it's like a really nice like town, like. I don't, like, sometimes everyone's like, why are you comparing it to this, but I think it kind of seems like Wayzata, like, just like the vibe with like the restaurants and the shops. But then like, obviously, when you move outside of Stellenbosch, like Cape Town's very like the big city by the ocean, it's very like. City-like and so beautiful with like the ocean and the mountains, so that's like very different, but I felt like Stellenbosch was really. Nice, and the culture there is just like super warm, like everyone will talk to you on the streets and stuff, so I really.
Yeah, and also another thing I wanna add is that, in general, in South Africa, you do have to be aware of your surroundings, but Stellenbosch is like relatively very safe. I personally never felt unsafe, there was like one incident that happened with one of the girls, but everyone else was fine. I mean,
Yeah, if you're in a city, like, muggings can happen anywhere, but I never had an instance where I felt unsafe with it. Just be smart, you know, like if you're in Minneapolis, you're not gonna walk with your kids throwing the headphones on and
yeah,
with your head down, you know, like just.
and our apartment that we stayed in was also very safe, there was a lot of security, so there was no one getting in that shouldn't have been.
Yeah. It's awesome. Also like super walkable, we walk everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
And if you do want to Ubers are like $2, but like,
So in the picture, like the picture in the middle, that's Sammy Vehicle, and it's pretty much the farthest that you're gonna walk, and it was like a 30-minute walk. Right?
yeah, and it's always nice out, so like, it's fun to walk, so it's,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's very like beautiful, like town, there's like trees with flowers on it, like it's very.
And there's
Just
art,
like aesthetic,
there's
yeah.
art,
It's just gorgeous.
yeah.
It's just so pretty.
Alright,
Hestia.
so yeah, this is Hestia, she is like kind of in charge of like. The St. Ben, St. John students there, and she like runs a lot of the excursions and like is basically your mom in South Africa. She told us like literally put in our phone like Hestia mother, like if you need anything, like I rolled my ankle, I was there, she was up like at 11 o'clock, like telling me everything to do, like she's just gonna be like a go-to person for you if you guys decide to go.
She's great. She's actually.
She'll run your, right, she'll run your.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like your tour guide the entire, every time we go on an excursion. She is so crazy that, she like. Hurt her leg, didn't she?
We were going hiking, okay, so one of the excursions, I think it's the same, they go to Cedarburg. Okay, so this hiking trip, we were going and she like fell and cut her leg or something. Took a shot, no, she didn't take a shot.
No, she didn't.
She just poured alcohol and stitched herself up and then drove us 4 hours to go hiking.
She's just like an impressive, crazy, awesome woman, and you just feel very supported there because. Like if you have any issues, she'll be able to support you along with Rachel, so. Like at least that's a really comforting thing, at least for me.
Yeah.
And then in the middle picture, that's a group of us, Courtney's in it, at the Moxie's rugby game. So like
Rugby games are so fun.
they're so fun. So you guys are in like a university with South African students along with international students. So it's a very like immersive experience, like you get to have classes with locals and like peers your own age, you get to like be friends with them that way. And then also like a lot of classes you'll just have with international students. So you'll meet people from like France, Austria, like Finland, and you'll become really close with them since you have a lot of classes, which I didn't expect that to like be a case, but now I have like friends all over the world, so that's really cool. And rugby's like a huge thing at the university, so everyone goes to these rugby games, it's a really like amazing atmosphere.
I'm going back to the classes, so I'm pretty
I
sure,
think there's a class.
oh, okay, never mind.
No.
But yeah, some of these buildings, like the pictures on the left are some like examples of like a campus building. So they're all like pretty white and then they're like very tall. It's like really beautiful like places to have classes too.
And like I said before, the campus is very safe, cause there's security everywhere.
Oh, we have first activities then.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I have all of these things.
Okay.
Did not see that.
So the first, I'm just gonna point. Okay, this one is the student center. This is like in the middle, right, that's the student center, yeah. This is in like the middle of campus, that's where you're gonna find, it's 3 levels, so this like main floor goes all the way around. It's got like food, ice cream, coffee, literally anything.
They have boba.
Boba, yeah. Never had it before, tried it there, it's awesome.
Another thing about the food is that they give you what, 150?
Oh yeah, you'll get like it's like our flex plan, so you'll get it for. Same thing,
card, they can
Yeah.
spend money there.
yeah, bottom floor, more food, ATMs,
They only have like a hair salon in there.
Yeah.
yeah,
like,
everything.
To
A
get
drugstore.
like,
to
it's,
get
yeah, a little
convenience,
pharmacy,
yeah.
crazy.
Pharmacy.
Take a look.
It's called the Nielsen,
You'll see, yeah.
so. What else is that?
This is the other side. There's a stage, so this is like a little, like, looking over, there's a stage down there, sometimes they have like performances, which is kind of cool. You walk in, there's like a huge band just playing in there.
So that's like an important hub, but then so there's also activities on camp or like off campus. Through ISOS, I think you can pay like.
It's not a lot. I don't know how much it is. but
There
it's
is
not a lot.
400.
So basically there's like an option to join this ISOS community with other like people from Stellenbosch, other students, and basically they go to all these excursions, periodically throughout your semester there. So yeah, like a summer concert, beach day, hiking trips. We didn't really know a lot of people in our group, we only had like 7 people, so it's not a lot that did this, because a lot of our personal excursions through CSB were like going to some of these events, and we didn't wanna repeat them. But I mean, I think they change every year too, so that's like a really good opportunity to like meet new people and get like free transportation to go to all these events with people.
Yeah.
Oh, service time. Okay, so. I don't know if they have, we're gonna have the same,
We have a service
Professor?
learning link,
Okay.
and then I don't know if we'll have the same person, like, I would say you would have the same site, but there is a slide of that later on. So I'd say like concert courses, and then there's service learning slide moving on, but you
Oh,
talk about like structure and that kind of thing.
okay, so. I'm not gonna touch huge on service learning then, but you will have to take that, that's just another class, but it also involves. Being immersed in a community and working, I'll explain later. And then you have some generals, I think the options, we had photography, there was a theater class, not theater.
Yeah, there was like a politics class. that we
Here's some-
had.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, same.
I took the South African pop culture and identity for sociology.
Yep, that was really interesting, a lot of us took that one.
Yeah.
Environmental studies is really helpful if you want to be environmental studies, obviously.
I think like a lot of these classes will cover a lot of credits that you guys need. And these ones are basically just classes with like your CSB like peers and then also international students. But then there's also a bunch of other classes you guys could take that are with South African students. I would say that the coursework for that's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
I took one class with South African students, and it was a sociology class, but I honestly, that was one of my favorite classes there, like. It's more lecture based, it's not as one-on-one since it's just like a lot more people in the classes, but you get to really understand like how they do like their classes there. So my class was personally more lecture based, but I really enjoyed it, so don't feel like closed off if these classes aren't like the ones you want to take, there's a lot more options as well.
And they're typically once a week too, maybe twice a week, the classes, they're just longer. So that took a little bit to get used to, but like. Then you get to meet your students for longer and like you see them after class and you just create a connection with them, which is cool. A lot of the classes also meet outside, like they have. Like student trips or like class trips,
Yeah,
so that was also.
like we'll meet at a restaurant or something.
Yeah,
Our global service learning professor took us to a wine farm, like after we were done volunteering. It was fun. It's just like a lot more laid back than. So yourself.
Okay, global service learning, temperature. Okay, so we had 2 sites.
Three.
3 sites, and they're. I don't know how to pronounce it. Tommy.
No, yeah. Peniel and then Excelsior.
So when we first started the service learning location, so we went to the new location there, so we kind of had to like figure out what we were doing, but basically you're volunteering with teachers and working with kids in the classroom, but you're not like necessarily leading the class, you're more like helping and like can help students with their work. And it's a really, really cool experience. With the different sites, so basically there's like a preschool and then there's like a middle school, elementary school, so there's 2 of those. The preschool, you're kind of helping with like, you can work with the babies and literally like help with that, and then up to like 5 years old or something, so.
Yeah, like 5 or 6.
And-
like they're,
Did you ever volunteer at
Learn.
Excelsior?
no.
So basically, they'll like, you can like kind of prefer some certain sites, but they'll put you in, but no matter what, it's a great experience. I was at like one of the elementary middle schools for the whole time, and I thought it was really just like an amazing experience. They live, or their schools were in like little trailers, honestly, so it really showed me like a new perspective and experience on their education. And there just wasn't a lot of resources, so it was just a great way to like see like kids being kids in this element and like get that new perspective of just like helping out, but like being friends with the kids. I like grew a lot for it, and I think that you guys will too. If you
Yeah. It's super eye-opening to see the disparities in like the education system based on race. You'll learn way more about that if you choose to go, but just super eye-opening. I had no idea about any of this, so it's just really cool to see and makes you think a little bit harder.
Yeah, so I volunteered at Excelsior, and I was with the youngest kids, so these kids couldn't even talk yet. But basically what I would do is like, I would play games with them and, or just play around with them. We would sing songs and dance and like do arts and crafts, so that was really fun. But we got the option to switch to the different schools, but I stayed with them the entire time, so I was with them for 4 months. Twice a week, so like I really grew attached to them. The last day that I was there, I cried so hard, but I mean, those babies will always be in there. And like, it didn't seem like it was that big of an impact, cause I was like, they can't even talk, but like. But as every time I walked in, they would just like run over to me or crawl. But they would just like, I feel like they were just as attached to me as I like with them. So it was a really meaningful experience.
That's it, so Concordia is the one that they'll be living in, right? Same thing. So we only had 2 apartments for our group, so we had one on the 3rd floor, one on the 2nd floor, there's 3 floors, and they're kind of like sections, I feel like. So you walk in, you get your student ID, just like you have here, you scan in. Ours was, I think it was super nice, we had you walk in, it's the kitchen, living room, 2 fridges, and then there's 2 rooms on the side of each. Like when you walk in, you each get your own room, you have a bathroom in your bedroom with a shower, so you all don't have to worry about sharing showers or bathrooms, so, which is really nice.
So yeah, it's a really nice living situation.
And also there was cleaning ladies, they come twice
Twice a week?
weekly, yeah, weekly,
I think twice a week, but then once a week they take out the trash.
yeah,
So you don't have to take out the trash.
so super,
It's
I mean,
really-
you still need to keep it clean, but
Yeah.
like, you don't have to take your garbage out.
So like.
I don't even know where the garbage can was, honestly, but yeah, super nice.
I think, I'm almost positive, I could be wrong, but talking to the other international students from the building, it sounded
Yeah,
like we
that's-
had like the nicest ones.
Yeah, super nice,
Yeah.
and
So-
it's in a little, what do you call that? A little like,
So basically it's like
Residence.
a little section, it's called academia.
Yeah.
Like and so the building that we stayed in had most of like the international students. So across from us, we had like some guys that were French, so it's like, very mixed in that way. I think a lot of the South African students, were they living in academia?
no, if they were like in graduate programs.
Yeah.
Other ones live off campus or,
Yeah,
whatever.
there were people from Europe, there's also people from different parts of Africa too, so it
Mhm.
was like, and it was really cool, cause there was a center in the middle. Where you could just like, go out and hang out, and there's
Yeah,
always.
water court, just like a McGlynn's Duke kind of. Get a house up in there, but
No, it's
Yeah.
like,
yeah, the courtyard.
oh, yeah. Yeah, that was fun, but there's like always someone out there, and they're pretty friendly, they're like, people are just, they're just fantastic. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way to meet new people, like, even from the global service learning class, it was just, us Americans, like this Asian, I think it was Asians.
Yeah.
And then the rest were Europeans, and like, I still am in contact with some of them to this day, like, they are like good friends, I'm actually going to Europe this summer, so I'm gonna go see them, I'm really excited. But yeah. You'll make,
Good answer.
oh wait, we didn't talk about laundry.
Oh, yeah. Laundry's on the bottom floor, you get, flex to do that as well.
You don't have to pay for the laundry.
Yeah.
Actually,
You just scan your.
so there's actually a lady in there who does, but she does your laundry for you. But
If you want.
I didn't know that you had to pay extra, which makes sense, but like,
Don't make that mistake.
no, I mean, like, it wasn't, I guess I could have put that together, but I just don't make that mistake.
Yeah, okay.
No, the fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, our excursions were so awesome. You guys would be going on the garden route, which is like 5 to 4
Yeah.
nights.
Yeah.
And you basically get to cover a lot of South Africa, like you kind of go up through the middle of it and like back through the coast.
That one.
Or no, it's all on the. Oh yeah, basically you cover a lot of South Africa that you usually can't, because we just don't have cars and stuff. And you get to go on like a safari, do an elephant, like walk with
Yeah.
elephants.
These
That was
four are
like
like garden, those four.
a huge, it was just amazing. And then if you guys have like adrenaline junkies in your group, you guys stop at like the world's tallest bungee jump in the world off a bridge, which is like so
my gosh.
awesome.
I'm scared of heights,
No, it was-
and I passed out like when I was in painting. Did you hang there for like a minute?
No one.
I swear, okay. But,
So there are, like, so there's things included, the bungee jumping obviously would not be included in the program fee, but it would be something at your own cost if you are there. So
Is
there
that
are
worth
some
it
of those. You are there though, yes, these are the things.
Yeah, so you're staying, I think we stayed at maybe 3 different, yeah, 3 different places, all super cool, you kind of just make your way up, make your way back, have a stop at each little place on the way, super awesome, we took a van, 2 vans actually. Great bonding time,
yeah,
it's fun,
oh my god.
but yeah, this is
And then
super cool.
also there's a optional excursion to the Cedarburg Mountains, which I'll let you to it.
Yeah.
But I didn't go on it, so if you guys don't wanna go to it, it costs extra money, but it looked really awesome.
Yeah,
So, in my personal opinion, it was honestly one of my favorite parts of the trip. It was towards the beginning, and so I think that was like a great way to start out the trip. The ones that did go got like really close, and we experienced, like, we went stargazing. We went. to
Yeah, there was a lot of
farm.
it's really like off the grid, so we didn't have reception for a while, so you're hiking, there's a little river that we swam in, there's like some cliffs that we jumped off of, super fun, we made dinner, super
We,
cool.
so this hike that we were on in the top right, that was like a 7-hour hike.
Yeah, it was a full day,
It was.
but it was probably the coolest hike I've ever done,
Once
like,
you-
it was so worth it, it was so cool. If you like hiking, if that's what you're, okay, also, if you don't love hiking, you can stay back. There's other things to do, there's people back there too, so. Things for everyone to do.
There's day excursion.
Oh.
Yes, so this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, this kind of overlapped with the ice sauce excursion, so we kind of didn't do that because we already were doing it with, just our program. But we went to see the penguins, they have penguins in Africa, it's so cool, like,
They're
like,
so cute.
It's so cute.
yeah, and then, so the pictures of me, but this wasn't with the excursion, you can go on these bridges and like see the penguins and stuff, and then I went at different times to a different part of the beach, we can actually like get close to them, which is really cool, I definitely recommend. But just seeing them, it's like, they're like baby penguins, just like running around, they like swim in the ocean, it just is like. It feels like a dream, you're like, why are there penguins in this like hot place, but, yeah, that's like so amazing, and then.
Yeah, so day excursions, obviously, we either Uber or our director, Ellen Block, I don't know. She's our director or. Person that hosted. So she would take us in her car sometimes. We probably like eat lunch out there or like pack a lunch and then we come back and get back by. Evening. So, yeah,
The picture in the middle is that's when we hiked to the top of Table Mountain. So Table Mountain is like a really famous mountain that people hike. You don't actually have to hike, they have a cable car that goes up and down, so we took that down. But they have
we should go back.
yeah, they have like food in like cafe up at the top and we have a gift shop, and it was really fun, so I recommend doing that if you. Or just do it probably.
There's a lot of opportunities. If you don't wanna spend a whole weekend away, these are great ways to still see Cape Town, Stellenbosch or wherever the excursion is.
And they're included in your fee too, so it's just like a nice way to like see more of South Africa without like paying for your own Uber to get all the way there. We also go to Robben Island, which is where Nelson Mandela was stayed there, like in the prison there, so that's like a really cool. It's like you get a tour guide led by like a prisoner that had been there. And that won't last very long because obviously like the prisoners are getting older, so it's a great opportunity just to like have that historical experience, without worrying about planning it too.
All right, I actually.
Are they, is taking a language an option?
All right, I'm gonna talk a little bit about costs here, and a little on next steps, but we have time for questions at the end as well. So how any of our study abroad programs work is you will pay your normal tuition like you pay any other semester. But then instead of your room and board costs, in its place, so this is the current semester, costs for next year will come out at the same time as tuition costs. And so typically they increase about the same rate as tuition here on campus. So it would be, here it'd be St. Ben's, like, if you pay the sticker fee for a semester, that's what that is $27,878, that stays the same. But what goes away is room and board here on campus, so that would be, your sophomore area residence and your meal plan, and in its place would be the education or abroad fee, so that's this year's cost. So this would be the fee that we put on your student account, but then all of your aid that you normally have, scholarships, institutional aid, anything, will be, you minus that. So if you kind of can look at, you could look at kind of, here's what I do this year and compare it to, you could take away room and board and put in that 6150 and kind of do the math of like, how much more than staying on campus would this work? And so sometimes I think, this cost can be sometimes less than on campus, but there is gonna be costs that are gonna be, also need to be occurring that aren't included in that program fee. We obviously shared some of those as a part of the excursions, but like, for example, you have that small amount of flex money included, but that's not going to provide enough for every meal. So you do have a kitchen, it's kind of like the apartments here, right? So you have a kitchen available to you, but you'll have to have money for food. And so we do, estimate about this is how much you can, for costs for on-site, there's gonna be some pre-departure costs as well. So those are things we add up. So this would be pre-departure, this would be on-site. So that's kind of how we keep adding all those columns. And then we do say when all said and done about, and again, some of these are like required, right? You can't get away from that. That isn't flexible, but you could find a cheaper flight depending on what your meals look like. So some of these can be flexible, but we say about 4,300, 4,400 more than being on campus for the semester. And so, we do have additional scholarships in our office. If you do have a Pell Grant, this is a national scholarship. that we highly recommend. And then there is one scholarship that we can do from our partner institution, Stellenbosch University / AIFS as well. So there is a little bit more scholarship ability as well. Questions on cost? Yes.
So pretty much the only, like, it would just cost the same except for the bottom, like the $4,000, that's kind of.
Yeah, so if you're, so this, if you go to our cost and finance page on our website, you can find, if you click on semester costs, you can find the same sheet of paper. So this is adding up that gap above being on campus for the semester. So that's like if you're sharing with whoever your support systems are, that would be kind of the gap to talk about covering for this semester. And so, but then here would be what would be put on your student account part, right? So that's a good question. Any other cost questions?
Julie, do we have, for students who are interested in like a Cedar or Broken Mountain, do we have on the website anywhere the cost for those, so people
Yeah.
are wanting to plan potentially for?
Yeah, I don't know if I actually, so this year I do know, I literally just got the cost today, it's $475. If that one is a 3-day, 2-night, full, like, you're in cute little huts, you are hiking daily, all your meals are provided in that one. I don't have it cost for those kind of extra excursions as a part of, the garden route, but I do have the Cedarburg, and I can add that to the website for South Africa. That's a good add there. Yes. As you know, the application for a semester just opened earlier this month, and so feel free to go onto the global portal, start your application. It is one that is savable, so you can look at it, open it up and see what you need to be a part of it. And so there are 3 essays. We talk about having, thinking about your personal, professional, and academic goals for this program. There is a resume component, so if it's been a while since you've looked at your resume, you can come to the Experience Hub and they can help you update that as well. There is 2 references, so these references, this isn't like a letter of recommendation, but what you do in your application is you will send an email. You'll put in an email and that will send a link with a question that they will need to answer. My recommendation is obviously ask that person before you hit submit on that email. And then just say what it is for, because there is 2 types. So this would be someone in the classroom. And then this one can be out of the classroom. So this could be your work supervisor. So this could be a professor if they see you mostly as being a TA. But this can also be if a resident director in it just can't be a fellow student and it can't be a family member. So this can be also if you work off campus, it can be off campus as well. But if you're an athlete, it can be a coach. So that's kind of, but this would be so to give them time. I would do that at least 2 to 3 weeks before the deadline. So I a lot of times say before Christmas break, if you know South Africa is the program, you can send those links as soon as you know this is the final program for you, so you can give them time to complete their work. And then the other things just to be aware of, that there is, with all things being equal, you know, we do look for that GPA being 2.5, seniority meaning qualified who will be seniors, do get over juniors and then sophomores. And then please know that we do connect with the Dean of Students office. So if you've ever been or currently on disciplinary or academic probation, that is something that will affect that acceptance. But also if you have a strong pattern that you've connected and worked on different things with the Dean of Students office, that would be something we would be aware of. But there's also a spot in your application to talk about what you have learned about that experience. Everyone does do an interview, that would be with your director. And then, and we're excited for you to know, like, why is it South Africa? We have, you know, a finite matter programs. We're excited for you to learn about your study abroad experience, but what it is about South Africa over any of our other programs. And so kind of figuring out what that looks like. And so We do have a number of what we call application support sessions, so these are group sessions where you could ask questions about the application specifically. But if none of those work into your schedule, you can also find us in the Hive. If you go to our hub ambassadors, they can help you with that support session. If you have specific questions about programs, then you can find either myself or my different program managers can help in that way. The biggest thing, there's no priority to get it in early, other than be like, I'm done with it. But you do need to make sure you get all the pieces in by the deadline, and you only can apply for one program. You can't say like, oh, I wanna figure out my chances with 2 programs. So you do ultimately need to pick a program and apply for that. And everyone will get notification on February 18th. And so that's kind of the timeline of what that looks like there. The last part for the application is there is an application fee of $300. If that is something that you can't do as a one-time thing, please connect with our office. Again, any of our program manager, we can put you on what's called a payment plan. So, because we don't want that application fee to be a hindrance. And so that would be the final part of the application.